cars, EGR, still jacked up. I'm a born again believer and I still act up.
Hiya, welcome back to the channel. This video, we're covering how to replace the EGR on a Vauxhall. It's a Movano 2014. I think it's a 2.3 or something, but I'll put the right engine size and shit in the title. The EGR valve is there, and to change it, got to take that off. I'm figuring this out as I go. It doesn't look too complicated, but if I take any bolts out that don't need taking out, that's why. So to start with, well, I need some tools, and let's just have a quick look at the new EGR valve on this uncharacteristically sunny and warm November. Now this one, the fault that we've got on the van is that the EGR is stuck open, and after doing a little bit of research or a bit of asking around, it doesn't seem that uncommon on these for that piss flap there to fuck up. So just a word of warning, if you are changing this yourself, there's a chance that that's going to have snapped off and it can fall into places, so make sure you do retrieve it. Also, the adaptations will probably need resetting. I haven't got my diagnostic for me today, not sure if I'll be able to do that on this video, but at least I'll be able to show how to change the actual shitter. And what actually happened with this one, which is what is likely to happen if it gets stuck open, is or if that flap falls off, same effect, is that the van will try and choke itself on its own exhaust fumes and not go anywhere, not want to run at all. This one got brought back, or driven back, because the RAC one was actually pretty good. Check this out. It's blocked off the EGR valve coming out the cooler. So that is one way to get yourself home. As long as you've got a can of Red Bull and a couple of spanners or sockets, then if it does do this when you're out, then you block it off and you can hopefully get home. So anyway, let's start talking shit and actually start changing the shagger. And the first thing in the process that I'm going to do is take this pipe off. It's got two 10mm there, and then if you look underneath, there's two there as well, where it actually goes into the valve itself. So I need to undo them. That's one. That's another one. Now, as we can see, that is a perfect EGR blanking plate to get you out of the shit. So the other two I need to get out. And this is where I run into my first problem. I haven't brought enough extensions to reach the bolt going through there, but if I leave that connected at that end and then move this out when it comes to move out the way, then I can just unbolt it when it's off the van. Well, that's the plan anyway. Also, if I had an airline available and I was doing this in a garage on the floor, I would probably let the tyres down on the van because it is a bit high to be working on. Anyway, let's set some more bolts out. Like this Jubilee clip, for instance. This is going to have to come off. So let's take that bit off. So remove that pipe, which gives us a little bit more access to what we're trying to achieve. And the next thing I see that's likely to cause me a problem is the dipstick tube with the breather on it. So I'm hoping that when I undo this nut, this bolt here, sorry, that this will pull out the way as well. Let's take that out of there, fuck that off, remove this, like you're seeing, if you're not already fast forwarded. And hopefully that should be on like an O-ring at the bottom, I'm suspecting. I mean, I could be wrong, not done one of these before. And that doesn't actually seem to be that fond of coming out. I mean, I'm trying to be pretty genital with it to stop it from breaking, but I think I need to take that off first, like that. And there's also a fuel return pipe, by the looks of things, under there, which I've took off as well. So now this should twist and pull out. Yes. And now we have granted access to there's 4 8mm bolts round this throttle body, and then there's 2 which hold the bracket onto there, and I'm probably going to have to take them all off, because once I take the throttle body off, I'm going to have to pull it away from the EGR valve to give me room to get it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and undo these all around here, which I'm not going to film the whole process because it isn't very thrilling and exhilarating. And this is the first one, and as you can see quite clearly, it's quite long because it goes right through the throttle body into the EGR valve. So let's take the other shitters out. There's another one, and this is the third one, and now the fourth one. Things are getting exciting now. Now I've taken those out, it doesn't actually do anything. So now I'm going to take these 2 out. So this is one, and this is another one. And now this plate should come off as well without dropping it. As you can see, I'm sort of doing this with one hand, so a little bit awkward. But there's the plate, there's the bolts. And then now this should separates from the EGR valve, like so. And I'll just leave that hanging on them wires nice and carefully without doing any damage to them whatsoever, because I'm being nice and careful. And then I need to take this off from the other side, which involves, first I think I need to take that bracket off because that's in the way in it. And it's connected by what appears to be a singular 8mm bolt, M6 thread, like so. So remove that. And then the bracket probably won't move anywhere because it's got loads of wires and pipes and vacuum solenoids and shit on it. That'll probably still hold it in the way. So let's move that out of the way first. It moves out of the way probably just about enough. Right, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take these out, which appear to be 10mm heads. They might be 8mm heads. I think the 10mm heads though. Also need to unplug the EGR valve, which involves try and put it. There's a tab there that needs pushing. And at the same time as pushing the tab, you need to push the plug off of the EGR valve. Now they can be a little bit stiff, them sort of plugs and shit. So let's move that up there out the way. Get the correct size socket for the further excitement that's yet to come. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pipes out of these clips and then move that so it's completely out of my way. And if we look at, hold on, we'll look at the new EGR valve to see where the bolts are. I mean, I can see them, but you probably can't. So as I've just clearly pointed out, there are 3 bolts on this side. There's 2 at the top, which this is one of them, and then there's one under there. Now you're probably going to have to use your sense of touch to decipher where these bolts actually are, because you can't really see them, but it's quite obvious. So I'm going to take them out, and this is the bottom one of the 3. And as you'd expect, because it's like compared to, it's not really bad to get to, but compared to the other bolts I've done so far, it's a little bit more awkward. And naturally, because it was more awkward, it was tight all the way out, so I had to get the ratchet on it all the way. So that's one bolt out. Now there's another 2 left on there, and they're M8 bolts, are a bit bigger. So I've got to take that one off, and then the other one, which, well, I'm not showing anything, am I? I've got to take that one off, and then there's another one there, if you can just about see. So I'm going to pull them out. And the main thing that you want to be careful of when doing these, as you can see, is there's a lot of pipes and shit and plastic stuff around the vicinity of the area where you're trying to undo this bolt. And if you're not careful, you could potentially break some of this plastic shit, which would make your day worse than what it already is. So just be very vigilant and careful when undoing these 2 bolts. So this is another one. This is the second of the 3. As you can see next to it, there is the last one to come out. So get this one out, and then I shall progress onto the next one. Yes. So that being the last bolt means that this, in theory, should come out now. As you can see, that is exactly what it's doing in a roundabout sort of way. So just be very careful not to attach it to anything that's not meant to be attached to. And then we can see that, well, that's out now. And it appears that the flap is actually still attached on this one. But we'll have a closer look when I've taken this pipe off, which needs to be removed to be fitted to the new one. So I'll take these two bolts out, which is self-explanatory. Make a note of which way around it is, because I don't want to put the pipe on upside down when I put it on the new one. That's favourable not to do. So let's take... Oh, shit, it's gone tight. Let's take them out. Ta-da! And what the fuck? There is something wedged in there. It appears that it has actually snapped off, yeah. That has fucked up. Or something. Or something's just stuck in it. What the fuck is that? Right, so it seems that the culprit to the problem is this thing here. And probably should suss out where that's come from. And a small bit of investigation later, I can say that appears to have come from the only place it really could have come from, the EGR cooler. So give that a good fingering, which we both enjoyed. And inside it there is, obviously it's an EGR cooler, so it's got like, well, a heat exchanger inside it, and that appears to be part of the heat exchanger that has snapped off and wedged open the EGR valve. And there is a chance that if you have this same fault, by pulling it off and removing the piece of heat exchanger stuck in the EGR valve, which is holding it open and stopping the EGR valve from working, could fix the fault. And if this was my own van and it wasn't a van that someone was sort of earning a living with, I'd say, you know, I'd give that a go. But there's a chance that that's been stuck. The motor in there will be little plastic gears and stuff, and there's a good chance, or a half a chance, a decent chance really, that it's going to cause damage to that because it's been stuck. So, like I said, if this wasn't a van that someone was earning a living with, then I'd probably try cleaning it out and putting it back. I mean, I'm going to clean it out anyway at the end of the video just to demonstrate, see how good oven cleaner works on it, you know, the old trick. But like I said, if you're earning a living with it, I'd just change it. I mean, it's not shutting all the way anyway if you look at that compared to that one, which looks like it's probably damaged actually. So let's put the new one on. But first I need to fit this pipe to the new EGR valve in the same sexual orientation as what the old one came off, so it fits. So I need to tighten this up now, so I'll just torque this up to tight enough to be tight but not too tight to break the bolts or strip the threads. Yes. And then it's just a case of, you know, dodging around all these pipes and shit to get it back into the place where the old one once was without damaging anything, which I couldn't really film because I'm not a very good YouTuber. So then we've got it into place. We need to put a bolt in it, as you can see, and then we need to put another bolt into it, which is the bottom one I'm going to put in next, if it's lined up. Yes, no, it's not lined up. Might need some manipulation. Or it might just line up now, it needs some manipulation. And then we put the third one in. So this is the final bolt to go in this end, which also needs a little manipulation to get to go in. What's pretty good about these EGR valves, I don't know if anyone noticed, but the gaskets have got like a springy bit which holds them in place, which is just revolutionary. I don't know if anyone remembers when I did the EGR cooler on the transhitter ages ago. Well, that were a bit of a ball ache because the gasket, even trying to stick it in place, didn't want to stay in place, and it was a lot more awkward than doing this actually. So let's just go ahead and tighten these three bolts up. And now all three bolts are torqued up to specified torque settings of something, and I need to build it back up a bit more. So I've got this one here which holds this onto the side of that, so that needs tightening up onto there nice, and the alignment of that is not very good. What the fuck? Yes. Now once that is tight and refitted, put these pipes back into that shit on. Right, so now that's that bit, EGR is onto there, and it's time to now put this throttle body on, which means that I need to just go ahead and put that onto there without dropping it, and then just leave that balance in a minute. Get one of these bolts, put it through there. You can see we need to line that up into there, and then I need a socket to get some threads started on one of these bolts so it can't all fall off. So I need to put all these bolts back in. I mean, there's 6 of them all together. The 4 long ones, yes, that doesn't go in there. That one really doesn't go there. Pretty stupid actually. Right, so that long one goes into there, and as you can see, it connects that one to there. Also needs putting in a couple of threads, and just leave that loose put in, and do the same for this one. Obviously making sure that the gasket's not falling out or anything daft like that. That would make sense. And then there's that other one, which is there. Also in a couple of threads. Yes. Now I can do the same with these ones, which are shorter. And there's 2 of them, which I'm just going to also leave loose. Just in a couple of threads, like this. Look how good that is. Hold on, couldn't even see anything because it just wasn't even focused. That's what my eye looks like at the moment because I've poked myself in the eye. Also pretty sick. Right, so I'm going to tighten all these bolts up. I'll tighten these ones up first to align that onto the straight, and then tighten these ones up. Let's tighten these shitters up. Click. Probably should do them diagonally, but fuck, it'll be alright. You only got them 6 bolts, so they're not exactly going to be well tight. Torque to spec. Click. Ratchets flick round the other way, yes. Also, click, and click. And as you can see, I've done the same with those 2 there. So now, I need to reconnect this pipe onto here, which is just 2 10mm bolts, which I took out first at the start of the video, all that time ago. So tighten those up in a tightening manner until you reach a suitable tightness for both bolts. Okay, that'll do. And now, unless I've forgotten anything, which there is, in all honesty, quite a good chance of, we're nearly done. I need to put the dipstick tube back in, but before I do that, if I look at this O-ring, now that, to stop it fucking up, the best bet to stop it fucking up is put a bit of oil on it, and the only oil I've got to hand is the oil out of the van, so just use a bit of the oil off the dipstick. It should work. It should work well, enough. There we go. Nice and lubricated around the rim, just the way we want it. Right, so now I need to put that in. Make sure I've not got any shit stuck to the dipstick from being kicked about on the floor for the past half an hour. And then just put it back where it comes from. And it should. And it needs to put it the right way around. Beneficial to put it the right way around, but that's up to you. Start again. That's quite silly, wasn't it? Right. Attempt to put that back into there and feed it in, and you'll feel it sort of like that. have to push it down into the hole where it came from. You might have to be quite forceful in inserting it into the hole, but you don't want to do it too forceful where it's going to cause pain and suffering to the plastic. And then as you're trying to insert it, once you get it at the right angle, it should slot in nicely, and you'll feel it like a satisfying push as it goes in, and it'll settle down to where it needs to be. And then this bolt will line up, and you'll know it's in the right place, which you obviously tighten up so it's tight. And don't forget this fuel pipe, which we took out before, needs clipping back in. Right, so next we can put this back on, and we can even lovingly tighten it back up like this. Yes. And then when we put this back on, which I'm using high quality BMW branded tools to do so, which even though the BMW branded tools, they are in fact working on a Vauxhall. Now, I'm not sure if Vauxhall tools will work on a BMW, but these BMW tools seem to be working satisfactory on this Vauxhall, as you can see. And that is physically, as far as I can see, just double check everything's tight and what have you, but physically the EGR valve is now fitted. It's in the place where it needs to be, it's plugged in, everything's done. But like I said, I haven't got the diagnostics on me to reset adaptations of this vehicle, which is something that is probably going to need doing. So let's see what it does when you start it. And what it does is, yes, it starts, but we've still got our faults that need resetting and shit. Like I say, I haven't got much of diagnostics at the moment, but I have got this, which I should be able to reset the engine light at least. OBD port's in there, by the way. So let's see what happens with this. Yes. Yes. Erase fail. Oh, well. Try again. Yes. Yes. I mean, we've got a service light, or what appears to be a service light, but we don't have the other faults coming up. Still might need adaptations reset, but at least we've took the engine management light off. So that should be the end of that. I am going to try and clean that other EGR valve out just to see how easy it is to clean though. And as it turns out, just resetting the engine light seems to work fine. So anyway, I want to put some of this shit in here. Just really because I like putting oven cleaner on stuff and seeing if it cleans it really. As a bit of an experiment. So, fill all this, I don't know if you've seen in there, I had a massive chunk of shit in there. So leave this in here soaking into all that carbon. Cleaning the oven out. Yes. Yes. And then just leave it. See what happens, actually. So get that side as well. To be extra thorough in our fucking about. Yes. And as if by magic, some minutes have passed. So let's see how effective this has been. Now I could just rinse it off with water, but I do think that the carbon on this is going to be a little bit too intense for that, so I'm going to give it a bit of a scrub. Not much of a scrub though, just a light scrub, as you're witnessing. And then I'm going to rinse it off. And if need be, I'll give it another dose. Let's see, using our professional parts washer, how good it actually is. Yes. Yes. See if she's got rid of that big silly chunk on back of there, which I don't think it will enough, as I couldn't reach it with brush neither. No. So, let's do it again. I mean, this stuff has loosened off most of the carbon. impressively well, like it usually does. I've done in other videos. So let's see how clean we can actually get this, even though it's not getting used again. But let's just looking about really. What's new? Let's leave that to soak. Right, so let's give it a bit of agitation, because I'm usually quite good at agitating things. Got a talent for it, so let's just do a bit of that. Might need to hold it with my other hand actually. I don't think it's really any good fun to watch anyway, so I might just give it a bit of a wank off and then see how it looks. Yes. 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 I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get. Still more shit coming up in the winter. That's nothing. And just because I'm not quite happy with that bit there, I am going to give it another dose. Leave it soaking again. And some further agitation. Yes. And this I'm not doing any more with this now. This is as much fucking about as I can probably get away with today at work. But let's have a look how well it actually come out with the oven cleaner and a plastic brush. And now this is a last go that this is having now. Yes. Is it going to be brand new this time? I mean, it's pretty good oven cleaner actually. It does clean surprisingly well. Usually, and when I've used it in the past, I've never had to give it like a double dose like I have with this one. So it must have been pretty heavy duty shit to get off. It's got a lot more of it now. So, anyway, if you do want to clean your EGR valve out, oven cleaner is probably a good solution to the problem. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual shit. This is the end of the video now, by the way. Don't forget to check out my Instagram and what have you, my other videos as well. And I'll see you next time.